There was no greater example of the Tiger's superior range than at the Battle of Goodwood, 6 weeks after the D-Day landings. Perched on a hill overlooking the advancing Allies, the German 88mm guns destroyed a staggering 400 Shermans before the Allies could even get close enough to fire a shot on target. On the left is the 75mm diameter high-explosive round of the Sherman. Impressive in its own right, but compare that with the size of the 88mm armor-piercing round that the German Tiger fired. The damage caused by one of these was absolutely devastating. The Tiger's gun was larger and more powerful in every way, capable of destroying an Allied Sherman at 1,500 yards. Just as important as firepower was a tank's armor, and the German Tiger had an advantage here too, as military vehicle specialist Tony Lawrence explains.
The armor of the Tiger varied in thickness depending on what part of the tank. The frontal armor was up to about 4 inches thick, the side armor less, and the turret armor less. Even so, the frontal armour was impervious to pretty well anything that the Allies could throw at it. Really, the Tiger was a mobile pillbox.
To keep the Sherman lighter, the Americans used much thinner armour. In fact, almost half the thickness of the German Tigers. Experts will demonstrate the difference this makes here at an ordnance testing range in southern England. They've set up an experiment to replicate the effects of a direct hit from a German 88mm round on the 2-inch thick side armor plating of an Allied Sherman tank. The real measure of strength will be the potential damage to the crew inside, represented by these targets. High-speed video cameras will record the impact and show how well the armor stands up to the modern equivalent of the Tiger's deadly firepower.
Confirm range clear all round.
Range clear all round, clear red.
Stand by. 3, 2, 1.
The effects are devastating. The Allied Sherman's armor plating is too thin to withstand the raw firepower of a round fired from a gun like the German Tiger's 88. It has penetrated the armor, sliced right through the crew, and exited the other side. For a tank crew during the Second World War, the chances of surviving an impact like this were incredibly slim.
Imagine a little scenario in Normandy. We have a Tiger tank here, sitting up in a hedgerow, hidden from the Allies. We have a troop of 4 Shermans crossing a field. The first one, his turret will be turning, they'll be on the lookout for anything suspicious. The Tiger would take him out straight away with one shot. The second Sherman, he'll realise there's an enemy gun or something in the hedgerow. He will probably try and aim a shot towards the hedgerow, roughly where he thinks whatever it is might be. But by then the Tiger has reloaded and has taken this one out. The third tank, he will have seen the Tiger by now. He will try and use his other tanks as shield. He will come round, he might be able to get a shot off, and he will make a beeline for a sunken ravine over on the other side. But by then the Tiger will have reloaded, he will have gone. In the meantime, the fourth member of the troop, seeing what's happening, he will know the only vulnerable spot on the Tiger is the rear. He will try and go round to the rear of the tank, and he will try and take out the Tiger from the rear. and we have 1 Sherman out of 4 surviving.
In the weeks after the D-Day landings, Allied Sherman tanks had been decimated by the devastating firepower of the German Tiger tank force. Stories of Shermans penetrating the Tiger's thick armor with their tiny 75mm guns were few and far between. That was until a British innovation changed the Sherman into a tank that could challenge the Tiger head-on: the Firefly.
This is the Sherman as it was originally developed with a 75mm gun. This is the Sherman Firefly with a 17-pounder anti-tank gun. The pea shooter, the tank killer.
That ought to give them something to think about.
But it was too little, too late. The Allied Sherman Firefly, even with its superior artillery, was never produced in mass quantities, primarily because the Americans were reluctant to fit a foreign gun on their tanks.